communities.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support. Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Did you know that the Walker has a cinema that shows film almost every week? From artist talks, genre-defined performances, and world premieres to archival shorts and experimental soundscapes, the Walker Cinema explores all modes of global and local filmmaking. Get your first tickets for free. Visit walkerart.org/cinema to learn more. That's walkerart.org/cinema. See you at the movies. Oh, this is Robert Pilot. For Native relatives, healing is more than just sobriety. It's reclaiming Indigenous masculinity as a sacred, balanced force. Join Hunter Thundercloud for Native Roots Radio presents Controlled Fire. We explore how personal recovery uplifts our communities. It's time men step back into roles as mentors and spiritual leaders. Recovery is collective, and it starts with us. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of every month at 6 p.m. for Native Roots Radio presents Controlled Fire. Let's tend the fire together. Support comes from the Walker Arts Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds from the Cheyenne and Arapaho nations, and Jim Demeny from the Ojibwe Nation. Additionally, film screens, cinema, and performances are shown on stage. And the Walker is free every Thursday night and free every day for citizens and members of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org.
The City of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, rain and snow with a low of 28, then Friday, clearing skies with a high of 39. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has the best roast beef sandwiches in the Twin Cities, but don't miss out on the chicken, fish, brisket, Philly steak, and more. Maverick's is located in Roseville on Lexington Avenue, 1 mile south of Highway 36. Visit mavericksbeef.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting Cudahy, man.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, today we got Robert Lilligren coming in for a short time, checking in. Also, we have Natalie from the Minneapolis American Indian Center. We're going to talk a little bit about the history and what goes on there. So really excited about this show. As always, we just want to bring some information out to our communities here, and also to all our allies out there, what's going on in Indian country. So, you know, one of the things that we've been blessed with here is we've had updates over the years from Governor Evers of Wisconsin, and also we've had updates from our own governor here in Minnesota, Walz, and Lieutenant Governor, and many politicians. As you know, on Fridays, we have State Senator Mary Kunesh on the show, so we're always blessed to have kind of the political aspect of what's going on in Indian country. So we feel really blessed to be able to give up give updates. And one of the things we're going to be really sad about is that Governor Evers in Wisconsin is such a great ally to the Native community, and we're going to really miss them. So people listening in Wisconsin, please be aware that hopefully the next governor will be as good as our friend Governor Evers. And these are times now, and this is the time where we're not going to be listening to Governor Evers as much as we've had in the past because, like I said, he'll be gone. And I'm wondering if we could just play an update, this week's update from Governor Evers, and take it away.
Hey there, Native Roots Radio. Governor Tony Evers here with my weekly update. Here, tourism is a powerhouse of economic development and prosperity in our state. And today, Wisconsin's welcoming more visitors than ever before. Investing in our tourism industry has been an important part of our work over the last 7 years and has paid off. We've seen record-breaking years for 3 years in a row. And today, travel and tourism is an over $25 billion industry in our state. I've been proud to help support this critical industry over the last several years by making smart, strategic investments in its continued growth. And we are thrilled to continue building on that work with our brand new film office at the Wisconsin Department of Tourism and our new film tax credit program. Before, Wisconsin was just one of a handful of states without a dedicated film office. Now our new film office will work to bring exciting endeavors right here to Wisconsin. TV shows, documentaries, short films, you name it, all of which are going to not only bring jobs and economic impact to our communities, but showcase all our state has to offer on the big screen. We've seen just how much film productions can benefit our state in recent years, from filming Bravo's Top Chef to a new Christmas movie in Door County, to even hosting a big production like the NFL Draft. And I'm excited to see more creative projects like this come to Wisconsin to help promote our local communities and economies and inspire folks to visit and see what Wisconsin is all about. Thank you and take care, folks. Thanks for listening. Back to you, Robert, and Native Roots Radio.
Hey, thank you, Governor Evers. Just amazing. Nice little intro of what's going on. It's really good to hear. One of the things I want to do too before we move on to the show is I want to just give a little outline of our next guest before he comes on, and just do a great setup of our friend Robert Lilligren. And Robert Lilligren, he's the president and chief officer, and he's a White Earth Ojibwe citizen, and he's going to be coming on. And he became the first president, or became president, I should say, and CEO of Native American Community Development Institute on May of 2016, after serving as the chair of the organization board of directors since the founding in 2007. The work that NACDI does is unbelievable in the community, and I just want to really talk a little bit about that. But also I want to finish up with Robert's bio. Robert is an enrolled with the White Earth Ojibwe Nation, and he's served for 12 years as the vice president of the Minneapolis City Council. He was the first tribal member elected to public office in the city of Minneapolis, and that's how huge that is, and his accomplishments and the things that he does right now in his professional political activist work. Robert emphasizes empower historically disenfranchised people. Robert lives in the assist-based community development vision of NACDI, and that's assist in an asset kind of thing. You're looking at what people need and how they can help uplift people, and I really hear that when he's on, and I totally really believe in that. And Robert lives, he sees the community development as building individuals' capacity. Robert was appointed to the Metropolitan Council in March of 2018 and is the past chair of the Metropolitan Urban Indian Directors, MUD, which we talk a lot about. a regional leadership forum comprised of executives from some 36 Native organizations. And there's so much more. And we are really, truly blessed to have Robert come on the show once a week and talk about things that are happening, talking about things that are happening politically, nationally, because he's tied in, and locally, and also definitely in Indian country. You know, we've are still here, and he's a great example of that. And I just wanted to say this before he came on, how much I really, really appreciate when Robert Lilligren comes on the show. It's amazing information, and also it's uplifting. You know, as we know, in Minneapolis, there's 150 tribes that are recognized here, along with the 11 tribes that are federally recognized here in Minnesota. But, you know, we have over 75,000 Native Americans living just in Minneapolis, and it's the biggest urban area of natives in the whole country. And so we're still here, and we also have, you know, issues where, you know, 9% of the people that are in prison are Native Americans, and we only have 2% of the population. So there's a lot of work for us to do as a community, and healing that's happened to us, whether it's been, you know, boarding schools, put out on reservations, and just the land taken away, and people, you know, just wiping us out. There was estimates almost 100 million Native Americans on this North America, and you know, now there's hardly any. We're only 2% of the audience here, and 2% of the population. So we have a lot to work to do, but here at Native Roots Radio, we like to report stuff and also uplift our community, and then give information out there to our community and to our allies out there. And so I feel like I'm really blessed to be on the air on Civic Media, AM 950, a couple other stations too, and we are blessed here to do this. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit to you guys, just one-on-one, before we get Robert Lilligren on. So that's my take, and this is Native Roots Radio, and we're going to be right back after a short break. Please, please, please stay with us.
The City of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
This is Chase Iron Eyes announcing a new show on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, powered by Native Roots Radio. The show is called Native American Patriot Talk Radio. What will we do on the show? We are going to explore and dive into the source of American constitutional sovereignty, the intersection of Native American and legal issues. Find us the first and third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. on AM 950.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Did you know that the Walker has a cinema that shows film almost every week? From artist talks, genre-defined performances, and world premieres to archival shorts and experimental soundscapes, the Walker Cinema explores all modes of global and local filmmaking. Get your first tickets for free. Visit walkerart.org/cinema to learn more. That's walkerart.org/cinema. See you at the movies.
If the statistics say that 1 in 3 Native women and 1 in 6 Native men have experienced sexual assault in their lifetime, it means our whole community is affected by sexual violence. 1 is too many. Don't stand by, stand up. Don't engage in acts of sexual violence, and shut down the dirty jokes, the gossip, the victim blaming and shaming. As a community, we can change the way we respond. Contact the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition to attend a workshop to learn more.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and I want to be your next United States Senator, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot, and we are here with our friend Robert Lilligren, President and Executive Officer in White Earth Ojibwe of Native American Community Development Institute. Thank you, Robert. I know you have a short time with us, and I really appreciate you coming on. And I had a good time in segment 1 talking you up and reading your bio and telling how our audience how important it is to have you on the show. So I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, bonjour, Robert. Good to be here. Yeah, sorry, I'm feeling a little under the weather. But it's good to be here, and you always oversell me. So
no,
I hope I can live up to people's expectations.
No, you're awesome, and you're a gift to the community, and again, a gift to us here on Native Roots Radio. Again, we only have a short time with you. What would you like to talk about? I mean, there's so much to talk about within Native American Community Development Institute going on, but also just what's happening on locally.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. And so if you go up to the national political scene, more and more of these local elections, these state elections and things are flipping districts. And so I just continue reading about that and what the impact might be here. But locally, focusing here, we have big elections coming out, as you know, that our organization, Native American Community Development Institute, NACDI, is deep in the voter engagement, civic engagement, voter turnout, organizing, and registration. And so this year, it's really interesting, Robert. We're having to do things in a way we've never had to do them before. And so new areas of planning and organizing around elections are voter safety, right? Polling place safety. And these are things that we've never had to plan for or resource for in the past. And so that's really a whole new dynamic. And as a former campaigner and elected official myself, it's just weird that this is what we have to be concerned with. And just reading more and more reports from the federal government about how the current administration is positioning themselves to deploy, National Guard or others during the election cycle. So it's just weird. It's different. It's not a place that I thought we would ever be.
Well, I just am really happy to hear this too, because that's one of the things that I worry about too, is just the intimidation factor of agents coming here in Minnesota and people hunkering down. And can I imagine more federal agents here during election time?
Oh yeah,
that's a frightening thought.
It is a frightening thought, Robert, and I'm figuring, and others that are figuring, that the closer we get to the actual elections in November, we'll see an increase of federal presence here. As most people know, across the country, we just successfully endured a surge in federal enforcement from immigration and border control. And if I were in charge of things federally, I would look to Minnesota and go, okay, that's money not well spent, right? People in Minnesota have an idea about how to respond, resist peacefully, prayerfully, in a loving way, right? And we just did brilliantly. I'm so proud of not just our community, but the whole community here in the Twin Cities and in Minnesota. But I will say, I think our community really kind of demonstrated, modeled, led the way on what a peaceful, prayerful, positive resistance could look like. I mean, it was grim. I don't want to underplay what a challenge it was. It was hard, but we survived, we excelled, and I really feel that Indigenous perspectives and values really led the way through that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And there's people that work with you and then in the community that are going to be alerted to, especially during these midterms. Robert, one of the things I wanted to mention with you is, so these elections that are falling, I heard there was 10 switches from Republican to Democrat, and 0 from Republican to Democrat nationally. And one of the people I was listening to was saying that if you are a Republican and haven't won by 15% of the vote or more, you are in serious trouble.
Right. And we're seeing these flips and these, they're bellwether local races or more local statewide, a lot of state house district kinds of races, and it's at least 10. And you're seeing these swings of districts that went for Trump by double digits, right? 15, 30%, and they're swinging blue. And so it's just showing, what a vibe is happening. And I hadn't heard that statistic, Robert, but I buy it. If you didn't win by 10, or if you're a Republican, you didn't win by 10 or 15%, you're vulnerable. And it looks like, and there's going to be a lot of analysis around these races, and it looks like 2 things are happening. One, the Democratic voter base is motivated, and that the Republicans aren't. And it's not so much. I mean, it's voter turnout of progressives, but it's also that Republicans are staying home. They don't feel like they have something to go out and vote for. Nothing's really motivating. And I'll just remind folks, that's what elected our current president, right? The people who didn't vote. And
Right.
so the act of not voting can swing elections.
Absolutely. And one of the things I want to hear what your perspective is this. I feel that if we bring somebody in, like, let's say Amy Klobuchar, and Walz is a good example. Once we get them in, we can push them a little more progressive than they've been in their past. And I think it's important that we talk about that.
I think you're exactly right. And I think that, the 2 examples you raised, Amy Klobuchar, who's running for governor, she's been our senator for years, and then Tim Walz, our current governor. And I feel like they're kind of innately person-centered, right? So you can call it progressive, whatever. Amy Klobuchar is demonstrably the most popular politician in the state of Minnesota, maybe forever. Her margins of victory as statewide as senator have been really impressive. And so it'll be interesting to watch this governor's race, right? But I know a lot of people on the left feel that she's not progressive enough or whatever. But I do feel like she governs with a very people-centric perspective. And then it was interesting, over the weekend, one of my close family members was asking about Walz, and the way she framed the question, she said, "Is he really as bad as they're saying?" Like, he's not bad at all. Stop buying that narrative from the Republicans. I mean, he has done more to support and help and promote the well-being of people in the state than any governor I can remember.
And the Native community. And another thing I want to throw at you too is, and we only got a couple minutes left. One of the things I wanted to throw at you too is that, people get confused sometimes. It's the House and Senate that pass bills. The governor signs them. So there is a pulpit for the governor, but it's the work of the Senate and the House.
Right. Well, and that's why when we had our trifecta, when Democrats, or as we call them here, Democratic Farmer Labor, DFLers, controlled the governor's seat, the House, and the Senate here in Minnesota, we did some really good things. And I think that's a lot of credit for that. You're seeing, I'm trying to think, what other state is it? is it Michigan? Is it Arizona that has a trifecta right now? And so
Yeah,
it's
Michigan.
and I really respect Melissa Hortman, the late Melissa Hortman, our speaker, Speaker Pro Tem. She and Waltz and leadership at the state capitol really moved the dial.
Yeah, really. And then, of course, again, a quick update, things happening on the avenue. Got anything to report here in the last minute?
Well, just to remind folks that we have a new All My Relations Arts show opening. It'll be the first opening since the federal surge happened here. So that's exciting. We're planning for Indian Month kickoff. So if folks don't know, May in Minnesota is Indian Month. It was a big American Indian movement initiative back in the 70s. So we're planning for that. And we're kind of parsing out what happened during the federal surge here and what things we can bring forward into this new normal, things like the next generation of leadership, the stronger alliances between BIPOC organizations. And so there's a lot happening here, a lot percolating up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and again, I want to just say a big shout out and a big Gigi for having you come on and really help us out here and stay centered. Again, I hope you feel better. I can hear a tinge of a cold coming on.
Yeah, there's something flu blood going around here, and this is perfect weather for folks who aren't here. It's cold, it's raining, we're heading into a blizzard, so this is perfect weather to get sick, and I did. So.
Okay. Well, a big Gigi Robert. Take care of yourself, and thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Gigawaba, man.
Right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. Up next, we're going to talk to Natalie and talk a little bit about the history of the Minneapolis Indian Center. We'll be right back after this short break. Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Local artist Rosie Simas, Seneca Nation of Indians, Huron Clan, embodies Onondaga philosophies of peacemaking and relationality in new immersive installation. Visit Agejagwa Desnigowaweni. I hope it'll stir your mind and explore a space built for communal rest and contemplation. Simas presents a performance of the same name this May. Learn more about the exhibition and performance at walkerart.org.
This is Chase Iron Eyes announcing a new show on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, powered by Native Roots Radio. The show is called Native American Patriot Talk Radio. What will we do on the show? We are going to explore and dive into the source of American constitutional sovereignty, the intersection of Native American and legal issues. Find us the first and third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. on AM 950.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds from the Cheyenne and Arapaho nations, and Jim Demeny from the Ojibwe Nation. Additionally, film screens, cinema, and performances are shown on stage. And the Walker is free every Thursday night and free every day for citizens and members of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org.
We are your relatives.
We are your relations.
Brothers,
sisters,
sons,
daughters. And some of us are your grandchildren.
We are your community. Historically, we held places of honor and respect. Because of the impact of colonization, some of us are rejected, thrown out from family, friends, and community, set up as targets for sexual violence, sex trafficked, humiliated, tortured, and murdered. Everybody has the right to be safe. We are your relatives. Remember,
homophobia is not traditional.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Local artist Rosie Simas, Seneca Nation of Indians, Huron Clan, embodies Onondaga philosophies of peacemaking and relationality in new immersive installation. Visit Agejagwa Desnigowaweni. I hope it'll stir your mind and explore a space built for communal rest and contemplation. Simas presents a performance of the same name this May. Learn more about the exhibition and performance at walkerart.org.
The City of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Did you know that the Walker has a cinema that shows film almost every week? From artist talks, genre-defined performances, and world premieres to archival shorts and experimental soundscapes, the Walker Cinema explores all modes of global and local filmmaking. Get your first tickets for free. Visit walkerart.org/cinema to learn more. That's walkerart.org/cinema. See you at the movies.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, rain and snow with a low of 28, then Friday, clearing skies with a high of 39. Step into Fort's a children's theater company. It's an interactive fort-building adventure where theatrical elements and towering cardboard boxes spark shared creative play. Weekday availability during local spring breaks from March 17th through April 3rd. Tickets at childrenstheater.org. This is AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Hey, we have our friend Natalie, who is Minneapolis American Indian Center's communication coordinator, and we want to talk a little bit about a couple things. You know, the history of this great center that's over 50 years old, but also to highlight some people that have really been important to this Minneapolis American Indian Center, seeing that it's, you know, every month is Women's History Month to me, but the rest of the country is celebrating that. Natalie, welcome and thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Robert. Always fun being on. Yeah,
Right
you're a good
on.
ally celebrating Women's History Month every month, so thank you. Thank you for your
Right on, right on. Right on. So with the remodel, there's some plaques and some things that are up about the community members that have really been not only important to the community, but specifically with the Minneapolis Indian Center. And we were talking about one before the show. Do you mind talking about Fanny and giving a little history of the American Indian Center and Fanny?
Yeah, so the Indian Center, we opened on Franklin Avenue in 1975. So we're over 50 years old this year. And during that 50-year history, we've only had 4 executive directors, which is really impressive. And more than half of that was Franny Fairbanks. So she was our executive director from 1984 up until she retired in 2012. And in 2012, Mary Lagarde, our current executive director, came into the role. So really strong female leadership at the Indian Center, which is amazing and a big source of pride for us. And so when we did the big renovation, what we did was named the gymnasium the Frances Fairbanks Memorial Gymnasium in her honor, just as a small way to give back for everything she did for the Indian Center. But yeah, she really led the Indian Center through some tumultuous times, and just really big, steady hand. One of my favorite things is she has a quote where she wrote a letter to the board, and in it, she just wrote about relationships and how it's it's the people. That's what we're here for. And it's not about the work you do. It's about the lives that you touch on this short journey. And I think she really embodied that. And that's a big thing that the center does, is we're here for the people. So yeah, it's really cool. There's a big plaque when you walk into our gymnasium that shows a little bit. There's a little biography on Franny. There's also a really beautiful picture of her that someone painted. When they were doing the signage for the building, all the photos of her were old photos, and they just were bad quality that you couldn't blow up to put on a sign. So they had someone come in and paint a picture of her that they used instead. So yeah, it's a little beautiful piece of history and good way to honor her.
Well, I want to get back to Fanny, but I did not know Mary had been director since 2012. It's funny. You talk to young people and you go, "Were you born in the 1900s?" And it's like, yeah, it's
We're all
like,
born in the 1900s,
yeah, not Gen Zers. They're like 2000ers.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you're born
back
after
then.
9/11, then it's weird.
Yeah, exactly. So Mary's been there since 2012. That's amazing.
hmm Yeah, she's been there a long time, and yeah, it's under her leadership we did the big capital campaign and the big renovation that we did. It was a big $32.5 million renovation that really, if anyone's been to the Indian Center, back before the renovation, it was kind of cold and it was very much that like 1970s brutalist architecture, a lot of cement, a lot of angles. It was kind of dark. And then, yeah, this renovation really opened it up. So now it's really big and open, bright and well lit. Really focuses on like wood and big windows. So you get a lot of natural lighting. And we added 20,000 square feet to the building. So I think in total it's over like 66,000 square feet. So it's a big space, and we really opened it up and expanded and made new spaces to help serve the community. And yeah, that was under Mary's leadership.
Do you remember the room that was upstairs? And I don't remember what that was called, but when you talk about an angle, it was an angled room, and it was. Do you know what room I'm talking about?
I don't remember what it was called. I came with the new building is the joke. So.
Oh. That is funny. But yeah, it was amazing. And that's people that come from all over every community should come in and stop into there's a store in there, there's a museum in there, and then of course the Gatherings Cafe, which I'd really like to talk about a little later. But there's being on the avenue, and during 1975 there was a lot of bars on Franklin Avenue. There was a lot of fights. There were a lot of things going on. So I can't imagine, with that leadership and bringing something to the people, for the people in 1975 must have been hard. I mean, really hard to think about.
Yeah, and it was community leaders that started it, and so. With all those federal relocation policies, there's a lot of Native people coming into the city, and there was just a high demand for a space for the community, especially as people were moving in. It's like, where do you go to get resources and figure out where everything is and what you need and find your people? And so that's really been what the Indian Center has been about since we opened. And it's amazing how different it is now. Back when it used to be bars on the Ave, and now we've got, Robert was just on, we've got NACDI and All My Relations and Powwow Grounds and the Native American Community Clinic, and just, it's like such a vibrant neighborhood of Native spaces now, and it's really beautiful how much it's transformed.
Yes, I agree. And we got to keep it moving in the positive direction, and help our unsheltered relatives and people that really need help. And you come on down and have a cup of coffee at the Powwow Grounds, and then swing on by the Minneapolis Indian Center, and you go work out, play some pickleball, which I don't think my knees will hold up, play pickleball with the lateral movement and stuff. But there's so much going on at the Indian Center, and working out for free and things like that. Let's talk just a little bit about that.
Yeah, so one of our big features is we've got a fitness center that we actually just reopened. We revamped it and added a bunch of new equipment and expanded the programming there. So we've got a fitness center that's free and open to anybody. You have to be 16 or older to use it, but all you have to do is bring in an ID and sign up and fill out a little form, and you're good to go. And it's open to the community, and they got really nice equipment in there. And we also have our evening program. So we've got pickleball. Tuesdays is Auntie's night. So bring your aunties, come play pickleball. We've got basketball leagues. We actually just started a youth one because it got so big and there was such demand for teens to play. And so we've got Monday nights is our youth basketball. And then Monday and Wednesday, we have evening adult basketball as well. And we've got volleyball, Warrior Up Fitness, which is like a high intensity interval training class that's really fun. And they really push you to kind of push your body and I don't know, just work out and be active and move and be in community. And it's a really great resource for the community because I think so many people don't have access to these spaces, and you do here, and it's a really welcoming space where anyone can come and all skills and abilities. And yeah, the new space too, if you haven't been in yet, the new equipment is great. There's a stair stepper, there's a little like yoga, like silent room area, and lots of fun stuff.
Wow, I wonder if they have one of those yoga things where you lay on and get tortured. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those
No, it doesn't sound fun though.
stretches out in different ways. One of the things I remember we talked about, I think last week, was that there's a woman's night or an auntie night, and so it's just for women, and especially it's good because when you're first starting working out, you don't want to be around a bunch of people. You want to be around in a safe place.
Yeah, it's intimidating. And so yeah, Monday night, I think it's like I would say 6 to 8. It's women's only night, and so the fitness center is closed to the rest of the public, and it's just for women. Yeah, and then Tuesday night is Auntie's Night Pickleball, so women only pickleball.
Oh,
but they go pretty hard at pickleball, so
I can imagine. I've seen some of the people and pictures of the people. I know they take their pickleball seriously. And so, are you playing pickleball?
Oh, I'm not. No, I couldn't keep up with them.
Jeez. Well, you're a runner, and you run with a native people, a native running group that really keeps you in line. And I remember on the 38+2 Dakota Memorial Run and get together down in Rochester, I saw you run down there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, every year we start at Fort Snelling, and it's a relay all the way down, and we meet all the horse rack riders down in Mankato. And yeah, it's a really powerful ceremony that you do that involves running through the night along Highway 69 or 169. And I don't know if I'd call it fun, but very powerful, very spiritual, very needed to just help on that healing journey.
Yeah, I did not realize this, but there's also after the get together that there is a ceremony with the runners, and I missed out on that. I just turned around and went home, but Dr. Stately was telling me about it. It was very powerful this year with you guys in the ceremony after the run.
Yeah, afterwards it's all the riders and the runners come together, and we have a big prayer that we do together. And then there's a shared meal, and I say you're pretty exhausted after running through the night, so I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I remember it being very powerful. You'll have to run with us next year, Robert.
Yeah.
You could start training now. You got this.
I would have to start training now because my knee is just starting to feel better. So you got to keep moving, right? Definitely. So in the next segment, let's talk a little bit about the cafe, because I know I just think that I want to get on top of the mountain and scream about it, because it's delicious, but it's also has our native food and things like that, and talk a little bit about the cafe and whatever else you want to talk about.
Yeah, I got you. I can talk about those bison melts all day. They're so delicious.
Me too. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. We're with Natalie, and we're talking about the Minneapolis American Indian Center, and also some bison melts. So, hey, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us.
The City of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Oh, this is Robert Pilot. For Native relatives, healing is more than just sobriety. It's reclaiming Indigenous masculinity as a sacred, balanced force. Join Hunter Thundercloud for Native Roots Radio presents Controlled Fire. We explore how personal recovery uplifts our communities. It's time men step back into roles as mentors and spiritual leaders. Recovery is collective, and it starts with us. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of every month at 6 p.m. for Native Roots Radio presents Controlled Fire. Let's tend the fire together. Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Did you know that the Walker has a cinema that shows film almost every week? From artist talks, genre-defined performances, and world premieres to archival shorts and experimental soundscapes, the Walker Cinema explores all modes of global and local filmmaking. Get your first tickets for free. Visit walkerart.org/cinema to learn more. That's walkerart.org/cinema. See you at the movies. I heard sex trafficking happens a lot in Indian country. What is that?
Here are some of the real reasons why sex trafficking happens in Indian country. Unequal gender roles that were forced on us by colonization. Communities don't have enough resources. Silence around domestic and sexual violence. Lack of attention and justice for missing and murdered Indigenous people. There's a lot of behavior that keeps our communities out of balance. These are just a few true reasons why Native communities are targeted by traffickers. When these acts of violence happen in our communities, it opens us all up for exploitation.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hi, it's Dr. Evan Adams, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio. Hey, Victor, you better be listening.
In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our wolf and bear populations throughout Turtle Island. Say no to the hunts.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Native Roots Radio. Natalie, I wasn't sure if you hauled or not, but now you know you're on notice here. We haul every fourth segment, just to give you a quick heads up.
I like that. I got to work on my howl.
Yeah. Well, I've been working on it here. Hey, it's really nice. Mel has welcomed you to Native Roots Radio. That's really cool, and really appreciate everybody talking about Native Roots Radio here on you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, X, Blue Sky, and a couple other areas too. So really checking in and saying hello, and I really appreciate it. And we do read them and we do put them up there. And I really appreciate what Jim says. He's definitely in a better place because of Native Roots Radio. That warms my heart. And really, it's because of Native Roots Radio. It's because of great guests like Natalie. And Natalie, again, thanks again, Young Warrior, for coming on the show and talking about the great work that Minneapolis American Indian Center does for the community, and a little of the history. That was fun to talk about.
Yeah, of course. Happy to do it. And yeah, thank you for doing this show. I mean, I think it's such an important space to have where you can amplify Native voices and news. And yeah, I'm very glad we have this space. We need more spaces like this.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And one of the things that we talk about space too, and we joke around that I come down to the Minneapolis American Indian Center a lot, which I do, but a lot of people do, and they count on it for many things. And I know there was an elders breakfast that I tried to get in on, but I must not look old. No, I'm just kidding. But that's things that you guys do facilitate there, and food's very important to a community and important to everyone, and that's just a great. I love the Gatherings Cafe for a couple reasons, but I like sitting at the booth and looking out of the avenue, and it's a very nice, clean restaurant with a lot of great food, and you never know who you're going to run into.
Right, it's the place to be. I feel like that's where you see friends and catch up. And yeah, for anyone who's never been to the Minneapolis American Indian Center, Gatherings Cafe is our restaurant that's right out in front. It reopened when we did our big renovation in 2024. The cafe got a whole new space, a whole new kitchen. So we really revamped it and opened it up and turned it into a breakfast and lunch meeting spot. And so, yeah, we really serve food that's native to North America, but that's really approachable. So it's a mix of tacos and sandwiches and things that are really familiar to people, but with an indigenous twist. So it's got bison instead of beef and a lot of fun things like that. And it's just really good food. And Robert, you're there at least once a week. I feel like I see you.
Yeah, I'll probably be there tomorrow. And then check out the gym too after I eat, maybe do the stair climber.
Right? It's like choose your own adventure. Go work out, go get lunch, go to the art gallery. It's like everything you need is
Right.
right there.
Exactly. Yeah, it was interesting too. I think last time you were on, you were talked about how many people work there. There's a whole upstairs of offices too, and I've only been able to sneak up there a few times because it's kind of a working area, and they don't want somebody boisterous like me to come up and bother people. But that's an amazing space up there.
Yeah. So that got all revamped during the renovation, and that's where our offices are. So we have more than 50 people on staff.
Wow.
Yeah, which back when we reopened in 2024, we only had about 30 people. And so we've really grown with the new building and just expanded our programs and what we're able to do. But yeah, most of the space is office space that we work in, but there's also a bunch of meeting rooms, and those are open for rent. So anyone can come and rent space at the Indian Center. We've got meeting rooms, a really nice new conference space. We've got our gym. And so, yeah, we've got a bunch of different rooms, and we had powwows, meetings, different corporations and individuals and orgs come in and rent space and bring people into the community. And so that's a really awesome new feature that we have with the renovated building.
Yeah, and then you guys were able to really help the community with tribal IDs when tribes are coming from all over Turtle Island to make sure at least have some line of defense between ICE and them to help them out with their tribal IDs. That's something that's really important. I used until just recently. I always use my tribal ID. For when I fly, and I fly at least once a month. And just unless unless I'm in a super, super hurry, because most times, as people know, people weren't taught about sovereignty, about Native Americans being a sovereign nation. So I have to wait for the big boss to come in and okay my tribal ID. And it's just a sign of sovereignty for me to show my tribal ID at airports and everywhere I can. But, it's a little shaky too with ICE now and them being uneducated and not knowing a lot about sovereignty and about who Native Americans are. So big shout out to you guys for facilitating that for the tribes across the country.
Oh, well, thank you. I want to shout out my coworker, Kateri. She's the one who coordinates all the space rentals. And so she did all of that coordinating. But yeah, it was really good to be able to open that up because, so many people don't have IDs just because, their reservation might be far away and you have to go to your res to get your ID and it costs money. And so it was really amazing that these tribes came in and opened up a space where you come in and you could get your ID that day and get everything processed. And so, yeah, we're really glad that we were able to do that for folks just so we could get more people proper identification. So if there was ICE activity, they could show their tribal ID, and hopefully that would be another line of defense. And yeah, so I don't know how many exactly, but I think we had close to 20 tribes come in and host events. And yeah, it was kind of amazing. Wow. People from South Dakota came in and Wisconsin and across the state. So yeah, really great resource that you could provide over the last couple months.
Yeah, and parking. Oh, wow. Parking there too, and the early bird gets the worm. Hey, we only got a couple minutes left. I know there's some activities happening this weekend we want to talk about. And again, this is the great things that the Minneapolis American Indian Center does. There's a big powwow coming up soon.
Yeah, so we've got our big gym, and we have our own powwows, but we also rent out the space to tribes and other spaces to have theirs in our gym. And so this weekend, Leech Lake is having their annual powwow. That's this Saturday, March 14th. Grand entry is at 1 and 7. And yeah, so we're not putting it on, but Leech Lake is coming in and using our gym and our spaces, and should be a good event. I've heard from a lot of people who are going to be there. So check it out if you're in town.
Yeah, definitely. And I got to let everybody know too. Powwows are free for the most part. The 99% of them are free. It's open to the public, so anybody that's in the area that's curious. And I just got to tell our allies out there that want to stop by and see the powwow. One, you can buy things that are being sold in by vendors, or they wouldn't be selling them to the public. So come support the artists and the vendors that are there. Also, be respectful too when it comes to, we talk about this, Natalie, a lot, especially when powwow season comes, is be respectful with pictures. Ask people if it's okay to take their picture. And join in as much as you can. This is for the public, but it's not a I want to say religious, but it's not a religious kind of thing. It's a celebration, and it's a community celebration. So everybody is welcome to these powwows, and come on by and support all the artists out there.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and good message, and yeah, open anybody, and it's great people watching. It's like it's just a great space to be in, good energy.
Exactly. Natalie, thank you so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate you coming on, and appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. Thanks for having me.
Right on. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance. From Chief Plenty Coops, the ground on which we stand on. It's sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office, and vote. We're still here. We are the seventh generation.
The City of Minneapolis is now on